Okay, we're going to try this again. We're going to try it. We're going to try it. This is Erin Strayer, and this is usually the time that we go live over on my business page, and today we're going to do it here, and Deanna's getting ready to come in, and hello. Hi. Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good. Sucking on a cough drop and, doing the tea. Hi, happy International Women's Day.
And to you too.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited to have you here. I'm loving, thank you for sliding in last minute. I was kind of talking on take one that there's so much weather up here in the east, in the north, that the internet connections are all incredibly unstable, and the weather, tons and tons of snow and wind, and it's crazy. So I'm super excited that you're here. I know. Hi, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, say hi when you guys.
We're supposed to have Susan Jenkins, and she's amazing. So whenever she gets to come back on, people are not going to want to miss her. She's phenomenal.
She's brilliant. Yeah, she's on. We're actually going to try doing it tomorrow. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming on. So let me talk about you in front of you.
I love when people talk about me like I'm not in the room.
Okay, bring it on. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
By the way, I don't usually look this orange. My lighting is super off. I swear I'm not
you just got back from you went to the beach. You went to the beach. You're in California. Yeah. I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Deanna Danski, let's just put a capital THE in front of it. Let that land. Hey, Billy. Super high achiever, massive success seeker, life coach extraordinaire, recovering perfectionist, brilliant you are. And to me, you are the epitome of massive goal setting, foot forward, thought leader, achiever, setting the goals, going after them, no shit, going after them, and not letting things get in your way. I swore. And not letting things get in your way, but so super balanced. To me, you remind me of the perfect light pink rose.
You are so sweet. I love you. It's so funny because if you could see my desk right now, I have a bunch of rose quartz over there because that's what helps keep me grounded and centered in the feminine.
So powerful. And the universal love crystal too, right? Total, just grounded in your feminine and grounded in love, and that universal, love rose quartz. Highest vibrating crystal on the face of the earth. Highest.
It's beautiful too. And it looks so great in my gray and white office. It's that little pop of color.
Little pop of color. So you have a bazillion degrees. A lot of degrees.
I have a few.
You're a lifelong learner.
I'm my mother likes to call me a professional student. I definitely love school. And to be fair, I love school, and I was good at school. And I know not a lot of people are, and not a lot of people do. That's not for everyone. And I don't advocate that it's a requirement for anyone. In fact, I think that so many people in this world could be so much more successful by not pursuing higher education and just following their heart, following their dreams. For me, that is my love. That I love to learn. I love to educate myself. I finished at Penn State. I had a bachelor's degree. I have a BA in psych, a BA in French, my minor in international studies. Then I went on and got my master's in spiritual psychology. I have a life coaching certificate. I have a health coaching certificate. I've been through Alison Armstrong training. I've been through, I can't even begin to tell you. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi. I know.
I've been through massive amounts of training, leadership training at Ascension Leadership Academy with you. I love school. I love all of that. And I think as a recovering perfectionist, as a high achiever, for a really long time, that is how I got my validation. That's how I felt worthy. That's how I felt like people would respect me, because I didn't feel like being a woman, I could just be respected by being in my feminine. I thought I had to be, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I thought I had to be like a man. Completely,
Yeah, the
like,
powerhouse, right? Yeah.
totally. Thought I had to be a boy, even. Like, as a little
Yeah.
girl, I hated being a girl. I refused to wear makeup. I refused to, like, get dressed up, even though I loved dresses and I was a cheerleader. Like, I was inherently feminine, but I squashed a lot of that because I thought that it wasn't going to get me where I wanted to be in life. And
Yeah.
and then I discovered the both and concept, that this is not an either or like paradigm, that I do not have to be either feminine or powerful and successful. I can be both feminine and powerful. In fact, when I really started to understand femininity and worthiness, I understood that's actually where my power came from, and when I really started to step into it. So for me, worthiness, like, and this is a distinction that I love to make. Distinctions, thank you, Billy Neal. Distinctions are a really great way for us intellects to wrap our head around things. And so I've been speaking with a lot of high achievers in just the last week. And one of the things they say to me is like, oh, I don't have a worthiness conversation. I don't have a worthiness issue. And I'm like, let's just pause there for a second and let's create a distinction. There's a difference between not feeling worthy and not feeling confident. I have always been confident. I've always been able to walk into a room and feel like I could, create a relationship, or I could speak my mind, or I could set a task or a goal and achieve it. That has never been a question for me. I've always been confident. But my confidence is based on my doing, my abilities, the things that aren't who I am. So, like, if I'm just lying in bed and taking a day off and I'm doing nothing, guess what happens to my confidence, right? Or my worthiness, because it's attached to an external, it's attached to an external doing, not in my being. So for anybody out there who's listening right now, and you've got like that super confident persona, but sometimes feel like you've got that I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, that's a worthiness conversation. And at the very core of perfectionism, it is a worthiness conversation, because we're constantly seeking the external validation to get that internal, like, fix, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know very well.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I know my people that are jumping on. Hi, Pam. How are you? Hi, Christine. Yeah, I totally, like, you and I know, our interaction and what happened, us and how we combined, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're the same, right? Like, who we are in this world as women and living, I was the same, in a man's world, and trying to compete, right? And trying to get that validation and get that worthiness and get that, hi ladies, thanks for coming on. Get that, and what happens, right? Like, you get tired, you start getting sick. Yep. You start, right? Like, it happened to you too, didn't it? Like let's just go there and talk about that moment, and what that looked like for you, how long that lasted, what you had to do.
Yeah. So I'm super, super honest about my journey, because
why not be transparent, really, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that there's so many other people out there who can relate. And if they're anything like me, they were ashamed of it. They hid it, and they didn't want anyone to know about it because of the perfectionist image. Like, I have to look like everything is put together and going well, and that nobody sees the weakness, because I never wanted to fall from grace. Like, I wanted to maintain. It's that, like, the higher up you are, the further you have to fall. Like, I was always afraid of falling. So after I finished college, excuse me, it's a little dry in here. So after I finished college, I needed a job, and I had no idea what I wanted to do for a living. No idea what I wanted to do. I finished school, I went back home, and my mom handed me a newspaper and was like, okie dokie, you're under this roof, you gotta get a job. And
start circling.
Totally, right? You're a mom, I'm sure you know.
Yeah, like, get the pencil, start circling.
Exactly, it's reasonable. So I looked at the newspaper, and I saw my middle school that I had gone to in Jackson, New Jersey needed a French teacher. So I just randomly messaged my old French teacher saying, what happened to the French teacher that was there? She was in a tizzy, like, oh my goodness, school's starting in a month. We have nobody. Please tell me you have a teaching certificate. I was like, no, I don't. I have a bachelor's in French, though. She was like, perfect. We'll do alternate route. You can become a teacher, blah, blah, blah. So I go into this career that I know nothing about, that I had no intention of doing. And I did it for 2 years. And I love academia. I loved all of that. And I just wasn't fulfilled. Like, even in college, I wasn't fulfilled because I went through life, my whole life, doing exactly what I was supposed to do. I was good at everything. And I don't say that from an ego space of, like, I was good at everything. I just meant, like, I did well in things.
Yeah, you excelled.
So I had no idea.
Yeah.
Right. So I had no idea what I liked because I just did everything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What's my preference? What am I extra excelling in? I had no clue. And then I went to Penn State because my brother Joe went to Penn State. And I started as an international business major because my other brother went to NYU for business. I kept following other people's paths.
Almost like you were a passenger. Yeah.
Totally, in my own life. And so my dogs are not thrilled with that behavior. So they're barking at me. They're like, that was not cool. So basically, long story short, I teach for a few years and I'm so unhappy, so miserable that I quit teaching and I literally just fall into bed and start, like, I'm no joke. I just watched Will and Grace on repeat, like, for months. And
I don't mean to laugh, but I know. Yeah.
No.
I totally know. Yeah.
That's all I could do. And my mother, my poor mother, watched me with her heart breaking, like, here's this wonderful human being who's got so much inside of her. And one of my teachers once taught me, and, you know, this may not land for everyone and it doesn't have to be a truth, but for me, it really hit me. He said, depression isn't feeling like you're unloved, because think about how so many people are around you when you're depressed, loving on you. It's feeling like you have so much love inside of you and you don't know where to give it and what to do with it. And I was like, that was it. I was so, like, I have so much to give and I have no idea who I am, what I want, what I like, what matters to me, that I ended up in this major depression, super anxiety, that I landed in the hospital. Ooh. And because I was trying to find therapists, like, nobody was taking anyone. I went to the hospital and they put me into like, group therapy. And I was in with people who had, like, severe drug addiction.
You're like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
That?
You're like,
No.
I don't belong here.
No, like, people with heroin, methadone addictions, all that. And, like, and let me tell you, like, not only did it make me grateful for my life, seeing that, like, my problems weren't that, but at the same time, that's one thing I've always learned to do. I hear clients all of the time talk about, well, you know, I don't have real problems. It's not like I'm starving, or it's not like, you know, I'm in an abusive relationship, or I'm not, you know, I don't have these real problems. But let me tell you, if you are unhappy in your life, if you're feeling anxiety, stress, depression, it doesn't matter what your problems look like in comparison to other people. If it is your biggest problem, it is your biggest problem.
Yes, so amen.
I'm in group therapy with people making fun of me because I don't have real problems. And I remember feeling crushed, like, so invalidated that, like, somehow my feelings didn't matter. And this is why I set out to do the work that I do, because I look at people like Robin Williams, or, like, the singer of Linkin Park, people who have it all, Whitney Houston.
Right.
And, like, to try and maintain a life where you're the CEO of a company, or I have clients who are orthopedic surgeons that are females in a male-dominated field. I've worked with a famous choreographer who was constantly getting pay beneath her male choreographer status. I mean, she was on, like, you know, some of those TV shows and stuff, very well known. And these people who are just remarkable human beings, so full of love, so full of talent, and so unhappy, so unfulfilled, so, you know, stuck in their lives. And I just thought, this is crazy. And so I set out to do work. I actually like calling it, like, I'm a life coach, right? But, like, I'm kind of like a human coach. Like, I help people remember that they're human.
I love that.
It's okay to be human. I have a master's in spiritual psychology. We teach that we're divine beings having a human experience. I help people master the human experience, because the high achievers, they want to live in that divine experience and the creativity and the creation and the abundance and all that stuff. And they can do that. They can achieve that, and they're good at it. And they struggle with the human part, the belief of making mistakes, failure, judging self, criticizing self, all of that stuff that sends them away from their mission of serving and of really putting something great into the world. So I just see people who their eyes were lit up when they went into a profession. You know, like I worked with one woman in pharmaceuticals, and she was like, I really wanted to help people. And then corporate, you know, just like she got sucked in, felt like she became a cog in a wheel, which is what so many people feel like when they go into corporate.
Yeah.
And they lose sight of what lights them up. And, you know, as Marianne Williamson talks about, like, the world needs more people who are lit up and more people who are shining their light to inspire people. So that's my mission in life, is to keep myself lit up so that I can create space for other people to be lit up and do work that lights them up. Because like, have you ever called into like an insurance company or something and talked to somebody who hates their job?
Just yesterday.
It's like the worst thing in the world. Like, I cannot stand going into, you know, a restaurant and somebody hates being a waitress.
Right.
And you feel it. It's like infused in what they do in your whole experience. Like, I'm not joking. I've gone into restaurants and like met people who love being a server.
Right.
Love.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like your food tastes better. I know. It tastes so much better. Totally. And you leave her a $20 tip for your $7 dinner, right?
Yeah. It makes a difference. People who do what they love and love what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
I know. And, you know, what you do right now is just so beautiful. And the way you touch and shift and change people's lives is just, everybody needs to be in your world and in your circle. And I know you and I have spent more time together than many, many, many of the people in my world have spent with me. And for that, I'm like beyond grateful that I've gotten to spend that amount of time with you. But I want to talk about what you have going on in this collaboration. Yeah, I know. Like, I get goosies every time I think about it because it's so good. So like, how much more beautiful on International Women's Day too, right? Like, to be on and to be talking about your story and talking, I know the people on here that are my people are our people also, these success seekers, high achievers, mastering life, right? Going forward, foot forward, thought leaders, like total that lane of people too. And needing to feel worthy at the same time. So let's take a strong second, hot minute and talk about this series that you've put together with these amazing women and men. You got some men in your lineup too, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, Stephen and
men who are passionate about serving women and helping them step into their greatness. And I learn really well from men, and so I felt like they needed to be a part of this as well.
I love that. Yeah. So you have put together a series of experts talking about this series is on the worthy woman, and like quickly touch base on your prior, because I know I was there for the flip for you. But prior to being a worthy woman, how did you describe yourself?
So you saw me in leadership and the way that I show up in life. And it was that I was focused on being the type of leader who was focused, committed, and driven. And I love those.
I love
powerful,
them. Love them.
And they light me up and they excite me. And when I'm in them for a really long time, I'm exhausted and go into like adrenal fatigue and stress. Because it's not sustainable for me as a woman. Like I don't have testosterone that just keeps me plugging along. I do a pretty good job of like hanging in there with the boys, but I'm not. I can't sustain it for too long. I've gotten myself so sick. I've gotten myself so overwhelmed. So these qualities of focus, committed, and driven, when I experienced them, I used my masculine when I was in them. And I did an exercise one day, and It's based on what I've learned is like kind of Gestalt style therapy, where I got an opportunity to have a conversation with myself, look myself in the eyes, kind of like mirror talk. And you can totally do this at home. Like, I recommend you guys try this out. Have a conversation with yourself and really look at what's going on in your world. And when I looked at what was going on in mine, I looked at myself and I was so sad. I saw how mean I was to myself, how I pushed myself, and not from a place of inspiration, but from a place of judgment and like, just, there aren't even words. I just want to say, ugh. Like, that's really, it was like, ugh. And so I looked in my poor, sweet, delicate eyes. Like, if you really look at your eyes and you see like the little girl that's in there, the one that just wants to be loved.
And when was the last time you did that? Right?
Oh my gosh. It'd been,
like, let's just talk about that for a hot second. Even when you're putting your eyeliner and mascara on, how many of us actually look at ourselves in our eyes?
It's true. Or even other people. And that's called intimacy. That's intimacy. And if you don't have that with yourself, you don't know yourself. And that's why I was lost for so long, because I had no idea who I was. No idea. And so I looked at who I was being, right? Because I was always focused on what I was doing. And I was doing great things. Like, I've always been up to great things, and I love doing great things. But who I was being was not someone that I wanted to be in life, and it was not someone that I even coach my clients in being. And I saw how out of integrity I was being. And I didn't do it intentionally. It was very subconsciously. So anyway, I had this moment where I softened and I started to be kind to myself. And I saw the beautiful, divine woman inside and the little girl. Like, I would never speak to a child the way that I was speaking to myself. That would be child abuse, honestly. Like, it would be verbal abuse. Flat out. To speak to me like that. There's nobody who was more critical of myself than me. And I got an opportunity to realize that in that moment when I said what kind of leader I wanted to be, focused, committed, and driven just felt like curse words coming out of my mouth. And I switched it over and I said, I get to be a beautiful, which already felt like, ew, superficial, right? About my looks, and I got it, like, it's not about that. Beauty is this, like, it's a way of being. So I got to be beautiful, loving, and worthy. Beautiful, loving, worthy woman. And I really got in that moment that it was not about what I was doing. It was about who I was being, and that when I come from that place of beauty, of love, and of worthiness, I am focused, committed, and driven, and I do succeed, and I do excel, and even more so than from the other space. And it's a balance, you know? Like, I'm all about, like, pray and move your feet, you know what I mean? I don't believe that, oh, bye, Amira, she's leaving. I know. I do believe that there's inspiration and perspiration. I do believe in masculine, feminine balance. Like, I'm all for that. But I was imbalanced for so long. And this was me coming back home to equanimity, to that place of neutrality, which is really where we create from, where we exist in a like pain-free state. It's like, some people think like, I want to be happy all the time. You always look so happy. I'm like, A, I'm not. I'm just not.
Not.
Really, just not. And B, that's not a goal. Like, moods and emotions are not sustainable. Equanimity is actually more sustainable. It's that space of neutrality. And so I decided the worthy woman that came from all of this was something that really exists for so many women. And this was a message that needed to be spread and shared with other people like me who've been thinking that there's only one way, who've been thinking that they have to or should, the S word, they should operate from that stressful, anxious, masculine, driven, focused place all of the time. So what I did was I put together a series for these women, completely free, because I just wanted to be of service. That's what a beautiful, loving, worthy woman does. She serves. And I collected about 20 experts, maybe even some more. Some people are still hopping on. From all different fields, all different professions, yourself included. And they're talking about the different the different ways in which perfectionism and worthiness have A, shown up in their lives, and B, show up in the lives of the people that they serve and how they help them. So this series is designed not just for information. Like, we're smart people, we can read books, we can Google things. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about people listening in, hearing real, authentic stories that they can relate to so that we can create community and tribe. Because, as you said before, competition used to be a way of being. And, like, I'm not about competition. I'm about collaboration. So we're creating community. We're learning about other people like us, how they've overcome challenges. I have people like Jen Esker, who is Doc Jen Fit on Instagram. She has over 400,000 followers on Instagram and talks about how she became an unexpected influencer.
And she's
all
brilliant.
Oh my God. Genius girl. Like, so
genius.
And she did it because she decided to follow her heart and quit her job and give 1 week notice. Like, how many people are willing to take those kinds of risks? You know, because they've always just done what they were supposed to, and they don't hear that. So Jen's in there. I have Steve Chandler, who's my first coach, who's just a remarkable human being, talking about the power of presence. Haley Lott, who talks about meditation and presence and mindfulness. Leah Lund, who's talking about amino acids and how our brain health actually impacts our body and our well-being. I have Michael Neal talking about creating the impossible. He's like the super coach. And we've got you talking about the power of receiving and being in the feminine, and just so many amazing experts who've come on to share their truth. Because let's be honest, we look at people who are successful in their fields and we think they've done it by not having a bad day. Let's be honest. We look at the Oprahs, the Ellens, like, nobody has been without struggle, and they're open about it. They talk about it. So, like, why are we still following this methodology that, like, we need to be without struggle, we need to be without flaw, we need to be without, haters? It's inevitable. So they're teaching us how to work with those inevitable challenges and pitfalls on our journey to success. And they're also giving away some really generous free gifts to people to kind of support them on their way. And in every daily email, I have a daily challenge for people, because, again, information, it stays with you for a little while. Like, you can read a book on how to swim, and if I throw you in the water and you don't know what to do, it's because you haven't transformed. You haven't applied that knowledge. It's not applied, it's just learned. I'm not interested in just being information. I'm interested in you actually taking the action in your life to step into ownership of that worthiness. So these daily challenges, I had a girl in Africa write me saying that today's the day that I'm going to go reach out to this company that I've been eyeing, and like, their mission of helping and serving children is so important to me. Today's the day I get to go. And I was just like, yes. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting to live your life? Like, what goal do you think you need to achieve? What level of success do you think you need to get to before you start doing the things that actually make you happy?
Right. And how long are you going to wait? And how sick are you going to get? Right. And how sick are you going to get? And how like depressed are you going to get? And how like in the hole are you going to get? And how, hateful are you going to get of life? And right. Cause that's the process that happens, and that downward spiral, and then figuring out how to dig yourself out of the hole. Right. Yeah. I am like over the moon, thrilled to be part of your series. I adore every piece of you. I love what you do. I love what you stand for. I love the people that you touch and change and shift and help transform on a daily basis with your coaching, and how you just infuse them with your knowledge and your love. And this series, you guys, please drop the links in here when we're done, Deanna, so people can go and sign up.
Absolutely.
It's free. It's free, you guys. It gets delivered right to your email every single day. These experts are over the top amazing. They're skilled. They're knowledgeable. They are true experts in their fields. Deanna is like, I hope you took a day for yourself. Did you do a day yourself?
I didn't.
Did you?
Actually,
no, or is it a surprise?
That comes at the end of the end of the series. I get to set myself up with my amazing new tribe of people and share more about myself. So that's definitely next on the agenda. They'll know who I am and what I'm up to as well.
Yeah, yeah, because there's way more to you. There's
I
way
am a
more
woman
to
of
you.
many facets. As we
Oh,
all are, and we get to celebrate. And I want to take a moment to thank you for being a part of this and for always highlighting. I mean, the Erin Strayer Show is not just business strategy, right? It's about really teaching people how to live into their greatness, how to own their gifts, how to put them out into the world to serve people and make a difference in the lives of other people. And Erin, the ripple effect that you create just as one person, one human being, like you're a powerful entrepreneur, you're a totally awesome mom. I mean, I see your posts all the time of you and Hudson and like having your mom and son dates. Like you really are a remarkable human being, and I'm so honored to have you be part of my series teaching women, and I mean honestly men too, because they get to learn this as well because they have a feminine side just as much as we have a masculine side. Zach
right.
Slobin, one of my experts, talks about that. And you really do such a beautiful job of showing people how we get to receive, how we get to stand in our greatness and own it. And you do that every day. And I really appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how women collaborate, interact, intersect, uplift, leverage, hold high each other. And that's what this world needs. And lady, I am delighted that you're part of my circle. I can't imagine you not being in my circle. And I am thrilled for this series that you have going out. You guys, if you have not signed up for her series, the link will be posted below here as soon as we're offline, done with this broadcast. Please go sign up and follow this lady. Deanna is like, she's a beacon. She's a lighthouse. She is out there and she is changing lives. And you can't be better if you're not inside of her world. So go follow her, be in her tribe, be part of her, and get on part of this series that she's doing. Thank you so much for your time, Deanna. I'm thrilled that you were on with me today. Thanks everybody for being here. Any last words? Any last things?
My puppy says goodbye to you.
Okay, bye, pups. Thanks everybody for being on live. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.